Virtual yard sales have been growing in popularity over the years, but do you know how to keep yourself safe? In this video, I'm going to be sharing 10 tips to ensure these transactions go as smoothly as possible while still allowing you to make money for your unwanted items. I'll even share the story of how I almost got scammed selling a desk online for almost $900. Spoiler alert, it sucked. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back and for spending your time with me. My name is Lindsay and I'm a proud Anthem resident and your local realtor with the Wise Move AZ team at Realty ONE Group. On this channel, we have a lot of fun talking about all things Anthem and real estate every single Thursday, and we absolutely love having you along for the ride. Virtual garage sale or online garage sale, from what I can tell, is just a fancy name for selling items that you no longer want or need using an online platform. This can be a great alternative for people who can't host a garage sale or for people who don't want to host a traditional garage sale. In this video, we're going to be focusing on selling your items online and what you can do to protect yourself. That being said, if you're interested in hosting a traditional garage sale, you're going to want to click in the cards to watch this video where I share my best tips for setting your sale up for success. The cool thing about a virtual yard sale is that you don't have to block off a weekend to sit in your yard, you don't have to have a ton of stuff to sell, and you can protect your privacy a bit more. It's possible that in the wake of COVID-19, we'll see fewer and fewer traditional garage sales because people are opting to sell their items online instead. There are so many different apps and websites that you can use to sell your items, including Facebook Marketplace, local buy and sell groups on Facebook, Let Go, OfferUp, Craigslist, and so on. No matter what you're selling or what platform you're using, please consider taking these 10 tips to heart to keep yourself safe. Number 1, don't disclose any personal information. The virtual garage sale starts the moment you post your first item for sale. Please make sure that you're not giving out any more information than you need to. Many of these apps and websites have their own messaging platforms built in, which allows you to protect your anonymity. In most cases, you don't need to give out your full name, phone number, email, or address to anyone. Only give out additional information if it's absolutely necessary. Number 2, check your photos. When you're taking photos of your items, you of course want to make sure that you're taking clear, well-lit photos, but I also encourage you to look beyond the item being featured. Is there anything in the background of your photo that jeopardizes your anonymity? Personally, we like to take our items out onto the driveway or into the garage to photograph so that there's nothing personal in the background. If you take your items outside to photograph, make sure that you aren't catching address numbers, street signs, or neighbors' homes in the photos. This probably sounds totally paranoid, but why risk disclosing where you live? Number 3, negotiate in good faith. For many people, the highlight of buying in local buy and sell groups is negotiating on the price. That's not really my thing, maybe because I get my fix of it negotiating on the price of houses, but I know a lot of people really love it. Do your research and list your items at an appropriate price with a little bit of wiggle room. It's also a good idea to know your bottom line on price so that you don't have to make that decision in the middle of a negotiation when your judgment might be skewed. Additionally, some unscrupulous buyers will message you from different accounts trying to see if they can get you to agree to a lower price on one of the accounts. Negotiate in good faith and be aware of the different parties you're negotiating with at the same time. I'm a firm believer in treating all parties fairly and with honesty, but you need to be cognizant of the fact that the other parties you're negotiating with may not share the same sentiments. Number 4, meet in person. All right, now that you've safely posted your items and you've agreed on a price, I recommend that you meet in person to exchange the items and money. I'm seeing more and more websites that enable you to ship these items, and while it makes a lot of sense from a convenience standpoint, it can add a lot of complication if something goes wrong. I like the old-fashioned approach of meeting in person, letting the buyer inspect the items, and then exchanging the items and money at the same time. So why am I so opposed to shipping items directly? Because I was almost scammed. Last year, I was helping one of our clients sell a few of his items before he moved back to California, including a really beautiful and huge desk. I posted the desk on a few local buy and sell groups and didn't get much traction. Eventually, I posted it on Craigslist and received some interest fairly quickly. This individual said that they were out of state and would need to arrange for shipping. They asked if they could mail me a cashier's check for the full amount of the desk plus the amount of the shipping. Yeah, spoiler alert, this is a textbook Craigslist scam. But did I know that at the time? Nope. Something definitely felt off, but I couldn't place it. Anyways, when the check arrived, it was so obviously fake, and in the meantime, I had done some research into these types of scams. I reported what had happened and eventually found a local buyer for the desk. Thankfully, I realized what was going on before any damage was done, but it did waste time that I could have been selling the desk to someone else. Now, I'm sure there are safe ways to sell your items online without meeting in person, but as you can imagine, I'm still feeling a little burnt. My recommendation is to try and sell your items locally and meet in person first. If you don't have any luck, you can explore your other options. Okay, rant over. Number 5, meet in a public place. If at all possible, meet in a public place. You want to meet where there will be other people around and even cameras. Some good options include police station parking lots, malls, bank parking lots, and so on. I particularly like the idea of meeting in a bank parking lot. Not only do banks usually have good security, but it also takes away one of the excuses some buyers like to use. I thought you said $20 instead of $40. They can just pop into the bank and get the extra $20, right? If you can help it, you don't want the other party to know where you live. Remember, the goal is to protect your personal information as best we can. Number 6, meet in daylight. It's always a good idea to meet in the daylight. There are more likely to be other people around, you'll be able to get a better look at the other party, and I just think we're always better equipped to protect ourselves when we aren't contending with the darkness. If you can't meet in the light of day, choose a well-lit place to meet. Number 7, bring a friend. When I was younger, my dad always taught me that there's safety in numbers, and that probably rings true when you're selling items online as well. Bring a friend or family member with you to meet the other party. Not only can they keep you company when the other party is inevitably late, but they can also call for help if you need it. Oh, and I guess I should mention, don't forget to bring your phone. Number 8, use a secure payment method. If you're meeting in person and we aren't talking about a huge sum of money, I recommend using cash. If you're dealing with really large sums of money, you may want to consider a secure online payment platform like PayPal, or you may want to consider something like a cashier's check. Know that there are risks with all of these. If you're going to be using anything other than cash, do your research and make sure that it's secure. You also want to know that there's some sort of recourse if there's a dispute or a fraud. I probably don't need to say this, but don't agree to accept or pay anyone in gift cards. They're way too hard to track, and it's an easy way to scam the other party. Number 9, consider providing a receipt. I don't want to say that you absolutely have to provide a receipt, but when it comes to larger and more expensive items, I recommend drawing up a bill of sale and bringing 2 copies with you. That way you can each keep a copy for your records. This is really just a measure to protect you if there are any claims against the transaction down the road. It probably isn't a bad idea to provide a receipt or bill of sale with every item, but I know this adds a little more work to the process. Number 10, trust your instincts. If something feels too good to be true, or if it feels off, it probably is. Trust your instincts. Do everything you can to set up for a safe exchange of the item. If you still feel uneasy about it, cancel it. There is no used item you have that's worth risking your safety over. So there you have it. What do you think? What item will you be selling next online? Over the past few months, we've bought and sold some exercise equipment through local buy and sell groups, and knock on wood, everything has gone pretty smoothly. If you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and leaving me a comment. Lastly, if you're debating whether or not you should still host a traditional garage sale, click to watch this video up top where we share 10 tips for setting your sale up for success. Or if you're busy selling all of this stuff because you're trying to get your house ready to sell, click to watch this video on the bottom where we give you a step-by-step timeline of getting your house ready for listing in 30 days or less. Enjoy those, and I'll see you next Thursday.